Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Saturday, August 29th, 2015, around 5:15 in the morning, Billerica, Massachusetts. Sun's going to be coming up about an hour or so. Going to be another nice and sunny day, comfortable weather, but the humidity is going to be creeping back. Beginning tomorrow, we could have a heat wave for the first week of September, and they say the first half of September in New England could be above average temperature, so the 90s might not be over yet, but sooner or later there's going to be a lot of cold air. I think it's the first frost I'm predicting will be 1 month from now, September 29th. Some news to report. The Boston Red Sox beat the New York Mets by the score of 6-4 in 10 innings. That snaps the Mets' 7-game winning streak. Big Poppy hit a home run, 493. He ties with the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig, and the crime dog Fred McGriff on the home run list. He's 7 more away for 500. Vin Scully's going to be returning to call LA Dodgers games on Sportsnet LA and the radio next year for the 67th season. There was a rumor earlier in the night that when Cubs manager Joe Maddon talked to Vin Scully that he was joking that he was going to retire, but that those things, he was just joking about that. Eventually Vin Scully's going to retire sooner or later. Also, the Connecticut Tigers beat the Lowell Spinners by a score of 1-0. And the New England Patriots beat the Carolina Panthers by the score of 17-16. And 27 years ago was the first SummerSlam pay-per-view. And 23 years ago today, the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith beat Bret the Hitman Hart for the IC champion at SummerSlam in London and England. And 10 years ago was the infamous Hurricane Katrina hitting the Gulf Coast of the United States, causing $108 billion in damage. Not good. And the city of New Orleans was underwater. It took a few years for the city to be rebuilt. So that's about it on that. And Tropical Storm Erica is downgraded to a depression. So it's not going to be a hurricane, but Florida's going to get a lot of rain and some wind, but nothing serious. That's about it on that. My first video subject of the day is the last SummerSlam I'm going to review in this series for this year. It's SummerSlam 2001 WWE pay-per-view from the Shark Tank, San Jose, California. The main event was The Rock facing off against Booker T for the WCW World Title. They were in the heart of the invasion angle for WWE and WCW and ECW, but WCW and ECW's alliance was with Shane and Stephanie McMahon, and they were feuding with the WWE to try to take it over. That angle was like a flop because they didn't have the big names like Sting, Ric Flair, and Goldberg, and the Outsiders, and Hulk Hogan, and Lex Luger with WCW. That would have been awesome. There'll be a fantasy booking angle about that later on in the year. So anyway, back to the business at hand. Here's the match that happened on Heat before the pay-per-view. It was a six-woman tag team match. It was Lita, Jackie, and Molly Holly representing the WWE, facing off against Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler, and Ivory of the Alliance. Originally it was going to be Lita and Jackie facing off against Tori, Stacy, and Ivory, but Lita supposedly suffered an injury and Molly Holly took her place. But later on in the match, Lita comes in, sells the injury, and she gives the twist of fate to Tori Wilson, pinning her 1-2-3. This match was on Sunday Night Heat. And here are the matches that took place on SummerSlam 2001 pay-per-view, called by good old JR, Jim Ross, and Paul Heyman. And the first match was for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. It was Edge facing off against Lance Storm. This was a competitive match, back and forth, back and forth. Christian tried to interfere, but he accidentally speared Edge. Lance Storm kicked him, but eventually Edge got the pinfall on this and winning Intercontinental title. The next match was the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley, and Test facing off against the Acolytes Protection Agency, Farouk and Bradshaw, and Spike Dudley with Molly Holly. And this was when Spike Dudley and Molly Holly was having a love relationship and stuff, and this was a decent match. Interference by Shane McMahon. He hit Bradshaw that took advantage of Test, and he got the pinfall on Bradshaw. 1, 2, 3. The next match was for a unification match for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship and the WWE Light Heavyweight Championship. It was X-Pac who was the WCW Light Heavyweight Champion, even though he was not part of the alliance, facing off against Tajiri, who was the WWE Cruiserweight Champion. And this was a decent match and stuff. Test tried to interfere, and Albert tried to interfere, but Tajiri Bill Green missed and stuff, but at the ending, X-Pac low-blowed Tajiri and gave him the X-Factor and pinned Tajiri 1, 2, 3. So X-Pac got both the WCW Cruiserweight Championship and the WWE Light Heavyweight Championship. X-Pac was not associated with either the Alliance or the WWE during this and stuff. And this is when X-Pac was kind of lost in the shuffle. The next match was a grudge match. It was Chris Jericho, Y2J, facing off against Rhino with Stephanie McMahon in Rhino's corner, and this was a highly competitive matchup. Chris Jericho always says the insults to Stephanie McMahon, like, "You're disgusting whore, you're a bargain basement stripper," or something like that, and back and forth and stuff. Rhino went for the gore, but he missed, and then Jericho takes the advantage and then puts the lion salt on him, and Rhino taps out. The next match was for the WWE Hardcore Championship, and it was way up on a ladder match. It was Jeff Hardy, the current Hardcore Champion at the time, facing off against Mr. Monday Night, Rob Van Dam. And this was a very awesome match, about 16 minutes. A lot of crazy moves with Jeff Hardy and RVD and stuff. Ending had RVD throw Jeff Hardy, who took a bump, and RVD grabbed the Hardcore title, and he became the new Hardcore Champion. The next match was a steel cage match, and it was to unify the WWE World Tag Team Championships and the WCW World Tag Team Championships. The Undertaker and Kane, the Brothers of Destruction, were the WWE Tag Team Champions, facing off against Diamond Dallas Page and Chris Kanyon. The Undertaker and Kane was with then the Undertaker's wife Sarah, and DDP had a stalking gimmick, which he really loved Sarah and stuff like that. That was a very, very stupid gimmick and stuff. It was not a great gimmick at all and stuff. But the whole invasion angle was not the best. And this match was, awful and stuff. Kane and Kanyon left the match halfway through, and then the Undertaker gives DDP the last ride for the 1, 2, 3, and the Undertaker and Kane are the new WCW World Tag Team Champions, along with the WWE tag Team titles and stuff. The next night on Raw, Sarah pins DDP, ending that feud and stuff. It was, that was Barry and DDP so much, which is disappointing because DDP was a big star in WCW during the late 90s and early 2000s. The next match was for the WWE World Title. It was Kurt Angle, your Olympic hero, facing off against the WWE Champion at the time, Stone Cold Steve Austin. This was a decent match, but lots of interference by referees and wrestlers. Like Stone Cold hit a couple of referees and stuff, giving them stunners. Kurt Angle had the ankle lock submission on Stone Cold and stuff. Kurt Angle won the match by disqualification. It was over 20 minutes, but he could not win the title because titles don't change hands on disqualification. This title match was convoluted, a mess, disaster. And the main event was The Rock the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, facing off against the WCW World Champion Booker T, who was at the time five-time WCW World Champion. This was a great match, you know, lots of moves and stuff. Booker T gave Spinaloonie to The Rock and put him on head scissors, but like The Rock gave him the rock bottom people's elbow for the 1, 2, 3 and winning the WCW World Championship. A few interference by Shane McMahon and the Acolytes Protection Agency, and like a referee from the Alliance, Charles Robinson, and stuff like that. But The Rock overcame this and won the WCW World Championship and stuff. But the whole Invasion angle was a big time flop and stuff. And what did I think about SummerSlam 2001? It was an average pay-per-view. I give it maybe a C plus and stuff. Like the RVD Jeff Hardy ladder match was probably the best on the card, but most of like the other matches, stunk or weren't that good. The title match between Kurt Angle and Stone Cold Steve Austin was a disaster, with like so many interference, ref bumps and stuff like that. And that's about it on the SummerSlam reviews for right now. Maybe next year I could continue on reviewing SummerSlams with the current ones, 2002 and beyond. 2 more video blogs today. First video blog will be about the Green Line extension from Somerville to Method, 4 ideas that are on the table because of the cost overruns that are reaching over $1 billion. And third, final video blog of the night will be about WWE superstar and like the future owner, Triple H, Hunter S. Helmsley. And like I always say, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, keep calm, everybody. And I'm a Julie Button guy. Julie Button's from News 6, Orlando, Florida. And she has a cute smile and nice legs. Molly Rosenblatt, a Fox 35 Rocks, and has nice legs. And in the words of Joey Styles, former ECW and WWE announcer, oh my God! See you later. Bye.